Welcome back everybody to another one in my aviation history series, and this is actually episode 3 in my RCAF history series. And in this video we're going to begin looking at some of the individual unit histories, and for this video we're going to start off with 400 Squadron. As I said, I'll be talking about these units in numerical order, so we'll start at 400, we'll work our way up as we go. And 400 Squadron is one of those few units that we actually have in the RCAF that's lineage dates back to pre-World War II. So we're going to start there, see how it formed, see how it went through World War II, take a look at its development throughout World War II, where it ended up going, what bases, what aircraft it flew with, and then moving on into the post-war years and bringing us all the way up to the present. So as I said, we'll look at the aircraft, we'll look at the bases, we'll look at some notable events. But before we get into that, my name is Sean, and this is Sean's Aviation. And just before we get into the video, something I should have been doing a lot more up till now, and that is just asking you guys out there, if you enjoy what you're looking at, if you like what I'm doing, go down below, click on the like page, subscribe to my channel, and by all means please click on that little notification bell, if that way you guys get alerted when I do get more new content up. I usually try to do the what's on my desk monthly update beginning of the month. And I usually try to get a video or a series of videos released by the 15th, the middle of the month. So whether that's going to be a tips and tricks video, or an aviation history video, or my time-lapse videos of the previous model builds that I've got done, or an air show video, or some of my new product review videos I'll be doing. So I want to try to get something posted by the middle of the month. So please, if you're enjoying this, subscribe, like, and click that notification bell. Let's move on to the video. So 400 Squadron got its start in the pre-war years as number 10 City of Toronto Army Cooperation Squadron, and it flew out of Trethaway Field, located in Toronto, about halfway between present-day Pearson and present-day Downsview airports.
It was formed on October 5th, 1932, and flew mostly Moth aircraft. On November 15th, 1937, it was renumbered number 110 Squadron, and on September 3rd of 1939, it was called up to war status and relocated to RCAF Station Rockcliffe on the eastern outskirts of Ottawa. There, the unit re-equipped with a Lysander aircraft and began training to head overseas. In early February 1940, the unit left their aircraft at Rockcliffe, and after a send-off by the Prime Minister near Union Station in downtown Ottawa, headed by train to Halifax, and from there, on February 15th, left via steamship for England, the first unit to head overseas. Once in England, it was based at Oldham, placed under the RAF Army Cooperation Command, and was equipped with Lysander aircraft and began preparations to move to the continent. The fall of France, however, meant the mission was scrapped and they remained in England. On March 1st, 1941, in accordance with Article 15, the unit was renumbered 400 RCAF Army Cooperation Squadron in recognition of being the first posted overseas. And in April of that year, they transitioned to the Curtiss P-40 Tomahawk when the Lysander was retired from frontline combat duties. On November 6, 1941, it flew its first mission when it performed reconnaissance over L'Étreport, France, but the mission was not completed due to cloud cover. In June of 1942, the unit began to transition to P-51 Mustang Mark I's, and by July, the last of the P-40s were gone. On October 27, 1942, the unit was moved to Fighter Command and relocated to Middle Wallop in order to train on fighter tactics. The squadron was assigned the code SP, and all aircraft carried full fuselage markings while part of Fighter Command. While at Middle Wallop, the unit scored its first kill when Flight Officer Hanton in Mustang AG660, coded SPW, was attacked by an ME-109 5 miles off the French coast while returning to base. Hanton was credited with a probable kill. On November 27th, Flight Officer Grant, while flying Mustang AP529, coded SPR, was credited with the first ground kill when he destroyed a DO-217 while strafing a German airfield 15 miles south of Paris. On December 4th, the unit moved to Dunsfold, but was only there for a few weeks, moving back to Middle Wallop on December 28th. On June 14, 1943, the unit was transferred back to Army Cooperation Command and moved back to Dunsfold. For the rest of the war, the aircraft would only carry individual aircraft letters, not the full squadron code. On March 31st, Army Cooperation Command was renamed the 2nd Tactical Air Force and was focused on supporting the Army through close air support, tactical reconnaissance, and artillery spotting. The unit was redesignated 400 RCAF Fighter Reconnaissance Squadron on June 28, 1943, and on July 28th, the unit moved to Woodchurch, Kent. Then on October 15th, they moved again to Red Hill, Surrey. While at Red Hill in December of 1943, the squadron received their first Mosquito PR Mark 16s and Spitfire PR Mark 11s. On February 18, 1944, the unit relocated once again to Oldham, but was only there for a short time before moving to the continent just after D-Day. While at Oldham, the unit gave up their Mustangs and by the end of February flew only Mosquitoes and Spitfires, although they did lose the Mosquitoes by May of 1944, becoming a strictly Spitfire unit. It is worth noting that the Spitfire PR Mark 11 was an unarmed, higher altitude, but unpressurized version of the Spitfire. On July 1st, 1944, the unit moved to the continent and very quickly moved from base to base to base as the front line moved deeper and the requirements of the unit changed. A quick rundown of the bases it was based at is as follows. July 1st, Airfield B8, Somerview, France. August 15th, Airfield B21, Saint-Honorine-de-Lucie, France. September 1st, Airfield B34, Averly, France. September 20th, Airfield B66, Blankenberg, Belgium. October 3rd, Airfield B78, Eindhoven, Netherlands. May 7th, Airfield B90, Petit Brogel, Belgium. April 10th, Airfield B108, Rhein, Germany. April 16th, Airfield B116, Wunstorf, Germany. April 28th, Airfield B154, Saltau, Germany. May 7th, Airfield B156, Lüneburg, Germany. July 8th, Airfield B160, Copenhagen, Denmark. And on August 2nd, they went back to Airfield B156 at Lüneburg, Germany. The last mission flown by 400 Squadron was on May 8th of 1945 out of Lüneburg, Germany, where 2 Spitfires completed a sea patrol. The unit was disbanded on August 7th of 1945 while based back at Lüneburg, Germany. During the war, the unit flew 4,833 operational hours, was credited with 9 aircraft destroyed, 2 probable, and 9 damaged. For ground targets, they were credited with 15 locomotives destroyed, 1 probable, 75 damages, 23 miscellaneous targets damaged. The unit suffered 12 pilots killed or missing during operations. Now, in the post-war years, the unit was reformed on April 15, 1946 as 400 City of Toronto Fighter-Bomber Auxiliary Squadron and was based at Malton Airport, what is today known as Pearson Airport in Toronto. It was under the RCAF Air Defense Command, and it started flying in July when it received its first Harvard Mark IIs, and it used the squadron code AA. It moved to Downsview on October 19th of 1946, and this was its main operational base for many years. It received its first Vampire jets in March of 1948, flying these for nearly 7 years. In 1951, the unit code changed from AA to GW. On November 6th of 1952, the unit was renamed a fighter unit. In April of 1955, the unit began receiving Silver Star Mark IIIs, and they gave up their Vampires in May of that year. In October of 1956, the unit received their first Sabre Mark Vs and flew a fleet of Harvards, Silver Stars, and Sabres until 1958. In September of 1958, the unit gave up their Harvards, and on October 1st, the unit was transferred to Air Transport Command, dropping the fighter designation, and they gave up their Silver Stars and Sabres. In their place, the unit received Expediter Mark IIIs and flew these in the light transport role. At this time, the unit also stopped using squadron identifier codes, and their aircraft only carried individual aircraft numbers. In October of 1960, the unit received their first DHC-3 Otter and flew these on wheels, skis, or floats depending on mission type. On February 22nd of 1964, the unit was reallocated as an auxiliary unit, and in October of 1966, the unit retired their Expediters and exclusively flew the Otter. In 1968, the unification of the Canadian Forces took place, and the unit received a new name as 400 City of Toronto Air Reserve Squadron. In 1980, the unit converted to a tactical helicopter and training unit and replaced the Otters with the CH-136 Kiowa. In 1996, CFB Downsview closed and the unit transferred over to CFB Borden, where it is currently based. At the same time, the unit converted from CH-136s to the CH-146 Griffin, which is what it currently flies. Today it is used as an operational and training support unit, and in the event of war would transfer all air assets to 427 Squadron and would form the core of a forces generation unit, basically acting as a core training unit.
So as you can see, 400 Squadron is one of the longest serving squadrons in the RCAF, and it has a long and proud history. So I found this neat graphic that clearly shows all of the aircraft that were flown by this unit throughout its history, and I think this is the perfect time to throw it up. A great way to wrap up this video. So thanks everybody for watching, stay tuned for more, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching, guys, and as always, if you are interested in any of the content you see, you can access my website at www.seans-aviation.com. You can see all the latest pictures of aircraft and museums and the build logs of all of my current models and past models on that site. And if you're interested in any of this content, please click the subscribe button here on YouTube to follow more. Thank you very much, and see you guys next time.